What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm going over eyeshadow palettes for beginners. On my channel, I want to slip in some beginner-esque videos just because it can be so overwhelming when you're starting to get into makeup. And this could also be, good gift ideas for someone that has an interest in makeup. So I pulled 7 eyeshadow palettes, which seems like a lot, but I couldn't really narrow it down past this because they're just so good. So I do have some affordable options and more higher end options. So we're gonna start our way from there and work our way through it. I'm also gonna be talking about eyeshadow brushes or like face brushes that you need in your kit as a beginner, or just staples for your collection. So if you're excited, be sure to give this a thumbs up, subscribe before we get into it, and comment down below what is your top favorite eyeshadow palette of all time, or if you have any of these, let me know how you're getting along with them, and let's go ahead and get into it. I am starting off with the more affordable options, and even these are like, I just looked at the prices, I'm a little like, ooh, but I think for what you get, it's a good deal, and it is still on the more affordable side. So the first one that I want to talk about, this is the OG Jaclyn and Morphe palette. I think this is a palette that really set Morphe up on the map in the makeup world. So yeah, I bought this when it first released. This is hands down probably my favorite eyeshadow palette that I own. It kind of has everything that you need in here. It has a large array of neutrals. You have your perfect like transition crease shades. You also have some of your darker shades here. You have like really unique colors, like these are like kind of like pinky browns. They're not too overly red, which I enjoy. I'm not a fan of like super red or warm toned eyeshadows, but these are the perfect neutral shadows. The shimmers in here are some of the best shimmers that I've tried, and you do have your fun little pop of color, so it's a very well-rounded palette. However, I will say I heard some complaints when they relaunched this that they changed the formula and it's not the same and it's not as good. So if you've tried the new one and you've also tried the old one, can you let me know if that's true or not? But I do really recommend this. This is a great beginner for anyone that's getting into makeup or is interested in it. This is kind of the perfect palette for them to start off with. This is a perfect palette if you are just somebody that is into neutrals every day. The formulation of these shadows is truly amazing. You don't have to sit there and blend forever, which is what, in my opinion, makes it great for beginners. You just kind of pick up some shadow, tap it off, put it in, and in a couple of seconds your eyeshadow is blended. It's really easy to get like a flawless eyeshadow look with this. It's a no effort palette, and I can continue to go on for like another 10 minutes about this, but I won't. This does retail for $40, so it seems expensive, but you are getting quite a lot of eyeshadows, and for me it's well worth the investment, well worth the money. It's my most used eyeshadow palette. I take it everywhere when I travel, so it's kind of the perfect on-the-go palette. It's just a little bit big for traveling, but I don't really have anything negative to say about that eyeshadow palette. Next up, I have 2 palettes from Colourpop, and again, this one, when I decided to put it in the affordable section, I thought it was cheaper than what it is, okay? I thought this was $20, but I think that's what I paid for it because I did buy it on sale. This is $34, so for me, that's kind of like, I don't know if I paid full price for this. I would definitely wait for them to have a sale, but this is the Bare Necessities palette. So again, it's similar to the Jaclyn palette, is that it has a nice array of neutrals, and I am more drawn to this palette because I love cool tone eyeshadows. As I just said, I hate like the warm orangey browns. So this is definitely more of a cool toned palette. It still has some warmer shades in it, but the colors in here just really speak to me. I love this middle row. It's kind of like colored neutrals, which is fun. It's not anything too intimidating, but again, the shimmers in here are really nice, and the formulation is great. It's another beginner friendly palette in the sense that it's also really easy to work with. That's the common theme in every palette. They're all really easy to work with, in my opinion. You don't need to pick up a lot of product, and yeah, things just blend on seamlessly. So this is another good palette for someone that maybe wants more of mauve colors, or someone that's drawn to more cool tones. But yeah, I like this a lot. I would highly recommend it. And the other Colourpop one that I got, this one definitely is affordable. It's $12, although this doesn't close anymore because as I was pulling it out of my drawer, it dropped a foot literally onto my carpet and all the eyeshadows popped out. So packaging, not the greatest. But this is a peach palette and I decided to throw this in here because again, the formula is what I've been saying. The shimmers are great. They're really easy to work with. You're not going to be blending your eyeshadow for 10 minutes. It's just really nice formulation, but with this one, it's a little bit more of a pop of color. So you have that brighter peach in the center, the peachy shimmer. So if you're wanting to look for something that is a little bit colorful, that's not so like intense in your face colorful, I think that these little mini palettes could be something worth looking into. But I really do love this for a soft, subtle pop of color when it comes to eyeshadows. And because of the price, it's something that you could give as a gift, and if they don't end up liking it, at least you didn't spend a lot of money on it. But it's really nice if someone is looking for a pop of color without it being too much. So now I have my higher end eyeshadows that I'm going to go through. I have 2 neutral palettes that are higher end and then 2 colorful palettes that I'm going to recommend for you guys. So this is my second favorite palette of all time. It's honestly tied so close between this and the Jaclyn palette. And if you are a subscriber, you probably know what I'm gonna say. It's the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette that they did with Desi and Katie. This is on the expensive side. It's $55 for 10 eyeshadows, right? Yeah, 10 eyeshadows, which is a lot of money, but it's just so good. The packaging on here also is just stunning. But these eyeshadows are like magic, okay? Like I would say out of all the palettes that I'm talking about, these blend out the easiest. I have to put the least amount of effort into these shadows. I think that there is a really well-rounded source of neutral shadows, even though it doesn't look like it. So we have this one, which is almost like a creamy, like beige color. So that's nice, but my most used ones are definitely these 2 and this one and this shimmer. If you have not tried these shimmers by Dose of Color, they are next level. They look like wet diamonds on your skin. They are absolutely stunning. They're so unique and so different from any other shimmer that I've ever seen in other palettes. So you have all these really beautiful, gorgeous, unique colors that you can put on your lid for a pop of color. You can just add it to your inner corner. You can add it to your lower lash line. They're all stunning. And again, with this little pop of color with the shimmers. Hello, there we go. I think that it's beginner friendly. I don't think that this would be too intimidating for someone. And if it is, worst case scenario, that gold one is just absolutely beautiful. So I like the way these look. You don't need to apply it wet. You can. It looks great that way too, but you still get an impact applying these dry. And I also just want to say really fast that shimmers apply best, in my opinion, with your finger. So if you're struggling with the brush, just try applying with your finger or wetting your brush with some water or some setting spray and see if it works that way. But if you want to splurge on a neutral eye palette, I highly, highly, highly recommend this. It is so worth the money. I am going to be sad when I run out of these shadows. It's really my second most used palette. I love this so much. So this next palette is really great for travel because it is a teeny tiny one. And it's one that I've had for years. This is the Lorac Matte Pro palette. And it's just so cute and tiny. It's perfect for travel if you're traveling light and you don't have a lot of space. It's a similar story to the other palettes. You can kind of see the kind of browns that I'm drawn to, but again, you have these really beautiful, gorgeous, lighter browns, mid-tone browns, a dark brown. You have a slight pop of color with like this pinky mauve color. I'm obsessed with a neutral pinky mauve. And then you also have burgundy if you want to get a little color up in there, and you have a really nice black. Obviously, I use the white shade a lot. I use this palette for my eye look today, so if you're interested in a tutorial on how I pull this together, the link is up above. But I think that this is just really good if someone wants something small. But I wouldn't say, like, the formulation in this is really nice, but I think I would still reach for my Dose of Colors palette over that one just because the shimmers are in there. Everything I need is in that palette, but for all mattes, this is really nice. Let me see if they even make this anymore. Okay, so it looks like they still make this and it retails for $25. For $25, I think that's worth the price. So if you had your eye on something like the Friendcation palette, but you didn't quite want to splurge that much money, this could be a good dupe for it. If you have shimmers in other palettes or shimmers aren't that important to you, this could be a really good palette. And again, it's beginner friendly because it's so easy to work with. You don't have to blend that much at all. In the eye tutorial that I did not cut or edit out any of the blending. You see me blend in real time. How long it takes me to do an eye look isn't that long at all. So let's move on to the colorful palettes. My heart belongs with color. If you follow my Instagram, that's kind of where I post all my bright, colorful looks. So the first one that I have, this palette is so good. It is my favorite palette by this brand, and it is the Anastasia and Alyssa Edwards palette. I am so happy I invested in this. Like, this is so good. I don't think you guys realize how good this palette is. Right now it's on sale on Anastasia's website for $27. So if you were even thinking about it, I would just go on and grab it. It originally retails for $45. And look at this. It is so good. These colorful shadows in here, they pack a punch like nothing else I have ever used. I have so many colorful eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and none of them were as pigmented as this and blended as nicely as this. Like, I've tried some other Anastasia palettes, and to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of them, but this one, like, the formulation in this palette is actual magic. Like this pink, the blue, the purple, this one, oh my god, Unicorn Tribe is my favorite color in this palette. The pigment is there, you're still able to work with it, you're able to blend it out, it doesn't go patchy. This Inspired Gold Shimmer is stunning. The white is like one of the best white eyeshadows I've used. It's like a true white color. And the neutrals in this palette are also really nice as well. I've done quite a lot of videos with this, so I will link the playlist for it down below. But I can't speak enough good things about this palette. If you're somebody that wants to venture in, but you don't want to make a full commitment, this is the perfect palette for you. And last but not least, I have the Anastasia. Again, I was like, I don't really like a lot of their palettes. But this is from their Norvina collection. This retails for $60, so it's the most expensive palette in this video. But I think the price is justified because you get so many shadows in here. I think that it's really quite the deal. $60 for all these different eyeshadows. I have volumes 1 through 3. You can see the other 2 back there. This is the one I reach for the most personally because I love working with purple and pink eyeshadows, and the purples in here are stunning. Again, the formulation in here is truly amazing. You are packing a punch with the color, but it's still workable. It doesn't get patchy. You're able to blend it out. You're able to build it up, use a little at a time to still get a softer look, or if you want a really intense look like this look that I did. I love how this eye look turned out. Yeah, you definitely get your intense, bright, bam in your face colors, but you can also, like I said, have those softer moments as well. So I love this palette so much. I think I still have to favor this one a little bit more over that one. But yeah, it was really hard. I was like, okay, let me pick like 3, and I couldn't. So this is what you guys are left with. All these palettes are amazing for their own reasons. Like I said, if you have any of them, let me know how you like them. Is there a palette that I mentioned here that you're interested in trying? Or if you have a palette that you favor that I didn't mention, let me know, because I clearly have a problem with eyeshadow. And I have too much of it, and I'm always wanting more of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, makeup palettes for beginners. And yeah, if you're new to my channel and this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, I do tend to do a lot of tutorials that are informational. So if that's your jam, be sure to subscribe, join the family. And yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.